How's everybody doing? This is just one of the voices that I use so I can prove that it's me. Oh. A little bit brighter. Is that bright enough for you? Can you fucking see my fucking head? It's going to be a good one. Oh, that's way too shiny. Ah, damn it. Oh, that was full. How's that? That's a little bit better. Nobody cares. Nobody cares but you, dumbass. Thanks, Jay. Okay, I'm going. Fuck it.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
I am stuck. I'm stuck with a dilemma. Or as they say in China, a dilemma. Welcome to This is 50. I do this every Friday. This is my mental health show. I do this strictly for me. If you listen to the show and you get any benefits from it, by all means, congratulations. We are one and the same. This is my show. I do this strictly for me to talk and work things out that have been in my head so I don't explode in the public atmosphere. So I'm in a dilemma. It's not really a dilemma. It's more of a, you know how your life's going on, you know, you got everything, you know, all right, you know, tomorrow I got to pick up the kids, or, you know, this day I got to do this, and, you know, all this stuff. And all of a sudden you get a phone call, and all of a sudden you like going, oh, haven't heard from you in a while. Oh, okay. So I got a phone call. I don't know when, last week, week before, something like that. And I thought in my mind that I have closed the book on that chapter. And now, what do they call it? A prefix? Index? There's an appendix? You know me in book terms. Yes, you do know me in book terms. Appendix, something. And I was like going, oh, okay, so I guess, do I need to address this? Do I need to take care of this? Do I need to look at it again? Do I need to start making this connection back with this person? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So this whole episode is going to help me figure out at the end of the show whether I'm going to do this or not. There's your tease. I've noticed all my friends on Facebook, my personal Facebook page. Now, we have This is 50 on Facebook. Feel free to go over there and see all the stuff that goes on and add us to your subscribe, like, whatever they do on Facebook. But I'm noticing on my personal Facebook, like high school friends of mine, they're starting to turn happy 50th birthday over the hill. And I told you about the over the hill. I don't think 50's over the hill. You're sliding down the hill at 50. But I saw a couple friends of mine, high school friends of mine, that turned 50 this year. And in my mind, I was like going, well, I knew you in high school. And then you forget about high school and stuff. And then you get out in the real world and you're like going, I thought you were the same age as me. And I noticed two friends just in the last 30 days have hit 50. And I kind of went, was I jealous? Oh, you just turned 50. I'm 52. By the way, for those of you paying attention at home, keeping scorecards, I just turned 50. I didn't. I'm sorry. They just turned 50. I've been 50 for 2 years now, if that's the way you want to look at it. Sorry, I was looking at something and not paying attention to what I was talking about. And I want to reach out to them. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It's a lovely place to be. You and me and all the others will have bad knees. You know, there's a song there somewhere. I could put it together. But I was like going, really? 50? And I look at these people and I go, we don't look, if you're watching me here on the YouTube video, we don't look 50. Do we? To each other? Do 50-year-olds look 50-year-old to each other? Now, when you look at kids, not in that way, but when you look at kids, children, high school kids, you're like, oh, he's 18, 19, held him back a couple years or whatever. Do kids look at us and say, you're the old person now? You're definitely 50. Like, don't ask a 7-year-old. You're 100. You tell them you're 30. Oh my God, you're so old. Well, you're 7. You've only been on this planet 7 years. At the point, whoever he's talking to, I've been on the planet for 30 years. And that's so far out of his realm as far as thinking about it. But now that you're 50 years old, you look at everyone else and you're like going, you're 50? I'm 50? Oh, I'm 48. I'm 49. You're close. You're getting there. So I just thought it was interesting that I started seeing people in my graduating class, not my graduating class, because, of course, we'd all be the same age, but younger than I in high school and friends and, community and stuff growing up in high school and college and things like that. And you're like going, God, you just turned 50? My wife sold her house. Well, our house. Together. She bought it. We lived there. We moved out. Got married. So it's her name on a title. I mean, if you want to split hairs, it's her name on a title. But I've done all the work and stuff like that. You're a bum. Shut up. No, I'm not. Believe me. So I told you all the stories about me going down to Florida and fixing things and doing things for our house and getting all that stuff done. Finally, some sucker bought the house. No. The house was immaculate. It's perfect condition. Someone bought the house. And so now I'm like, okay, the house is sold. That's off our books. We don't have to worry about tenants anymore. We don't have to worry about like the I want to say radiator, but the water heater, not doing something or something goes wrong. And, we're getting calls at 4:00 in the morning. Now, granted, we have a property management company that will handle the phone calls at night, but they're like going, oh yeah, there's a light bulb that's out. That's going to cost you $300 for us to go out there and fix it. Fucking property managers. But we sold it. We sold it now. And so I'm good. So now we've got this money that's come in. My main concern, I'm honestly concerned with the expenditure of this money. The reason being is because my wife is a horse person. If you know anything about horses or know anything about people with horses that are in the, not a professional, but they're in the amateur level and they're showing and doing all this stuff. And, everything costs, this mouse, this pen in my hand, this pen right here, my Pilot G2 gel pen that I use religiously. That's all I buy. You put a horse emblem on this pen goes from $1.95 to $7.52 because it's got a horse on it. So I'm concerned, and I told my wife, I'm like, babe, this is our chance to knock down a couple of credit cards that we have. And the only reason why we have credit card, quote unquote, debt is because of horses. When a vet has to come out and float some teeth, or something erratic or something, not that we're, hand to mouth on a daily basis, but my wife will just put it on a credit card and, we'll pay it down. She's got a credit card for the horses. So when something happens, veterinarian or x-rays or something like that, she puts it on a credit card, which is fine, but you got to pay it off and you forget and it pays off. So I'm really, really concerned. I want to pay attention to this chunk of change that we get to make sure that the money's going in the right place. This morning, she actually said, I paid the Lowe's card off and the Home Depot card off. I'm like, okay, great. Perfect. Going in the right direction. But we do have to hold some money back because of capital gains. I don't know how that's going to work out. If you're a CPA out there, if you can figure out a way for me not to pay capital gains, there's no way around it. I know there's no way around it. But if you have any investment advice, please reach out to me. When we come back, my dad, speaking of selling the house, my dad wants poppers. Jalapeno poppers. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? So I'll dive into how that came to be when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. I started the show off with I'm in a dilemma. I want to get into it and try to be as with kid gloves on the best I can. Now, I'm running into issues now with the This is 50 show that a lot of people that I know, like I see, like physically shake their hand. They're listening to the show. So I have to be careful. I don't want to be careful of what I have to say. What I say here on the show helps me with my thoughts and the process and stuff. So I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm not here during the show. If you're listening to the show and you know me, we physically hung out and had drinks or beer or whatever like that. This is not a bash on any of you guys. Anyone that's listening to the show, because there's a lot of people that come up, hey man, that was real funny what you said about, this and that. And I'm like going, okay, oh my God, you listen to the show. And they're like going, yeah, man, you're funny and whatever, or you're an idiot or whatever. So I'm like, all right, now my audience is getting closer to my inner circle. So I just want everyone to realize right now that when I do this show and I talk about things, it's not because I have any ill regard to you or anyone in here. This is just the stuff that I'm like trying to think about. For example, get ready for this. Went to a dinner party, told you a couple of weeks ago. It was a great dinner party. One of the horse people, my wife's friends, horse people, made a blueberry coffee cake cobbler thing. And I dove into it. I'm like, oh man, I'm on this blueberry kick. I'm having blueberry coffee. I'm trying to eat like blueberries all the time and stuff because of the antioxidants and, cancer and Jesus rose from the grave and all that stuff. And I'm eating the blueberry. I'm like, oh, God damn, this is good. This is great. Babe, get the recipe for this cake, this coffee cake that she makes with blueberries. I want this. I want this for dessert on Thanksgiving. And yes, next week is Thanksgiving. We'll be doing a show. Don't worry. And then we went to a horse show, and I'll dive into this horse show thing because it got me, my bubble guts all messed up. And she made the same blueberry, but she used the gluten-free powder, flour powder. and I took a bite of it, and I like going, is this the same cake you made the other night? And she reaches out and she says, yeah, she's standing there, not reaching out, but she's standing right in front of me. And she goes, yeah, that's the one I made the other night, but I used gluten-free flour. And I took a bite and I go, I can't even tell. If you're watching me on the video here, shit-eating grin. I can't even tell. This is, And then I pulled my wife to the side. I'm like going, this is not the same. This is not the same as what we had the other night. I want that recipe. I don't want this recipe. Don't get me wrong. It's good. And she made it because she's got, what is it? Similac disease. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I wanted the other one, the other recipe. This is good. No, don't get me wrong. It's good. I want the other one. So my wife sold the house, the last house that we had in Florida. We're not driving down there to sign any paperwork. So they have a notary that comes up here. I think it costs like $120. The notary comes to the door, knock, knock, knock. You sit down at your house and you can sign it all. There's no, I guess they physically need a witness. You can't do the DocuSign or something like that. So for whatever reason, there was a mistype on the actual contract. So they had to redo the whole entire 70,000 pages because one of the I's were not dotted or the T was not crossed. They literally mean, cross your T's and dot your I's type deal. They really, really mean it. So they had to reapply or put the contract back in. So that pushed the signing day for us here in North Carolina. And we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. Our house sits on 22 some odd acres here. We have a brand new studio. This studio is part of the Prophet Radio entity, so on and so forth. But anyways, so they pushed the signing date for us here in North Carolina back for our house down in Florida. They pushed it, forward one day, I guess I would say. So my wife and I aren't home. I forget what we were doing. She was doing something. I was doing something. I wasn't home. My dad's here all the time. Huh? My dad's here all the time. So I'm surprised. I'm really surprised when there came a knock at the front door, because it takes efforts to get to the front of our house. The driveway's 100 yards long. You have to come up. We really don't have a walkway to the front door. You have to kind of walk through the yard. We don't have like a brick path or anything. And the side door looks a little bit more accessible. Who knows if they went over there or went to the front door. Anyways, doorbell rings. Probably rang 4 times before my dad realized what was going on. It's not part of the show that he's watching. Goes to the front door. Now we have a storm door in the front. Full glass, full panel. So he opens the door. And there's this couple standing at the door and says, I'm here to be the notary for the signing of whatever paperwork. Didn't know anything. Reached out to me. I'm not paying attention to the phone. So he sent him away. And he's like, I don't know anything about it. Get out of here. So come to find out, they got the wrong message. They didn't tell the notary that they were supposed to be here the next day. So I didn't know this happened until the next day that we're signing the paperwork. My dad goes, those people were here? I said, what people? The people that you sat down at the table with today and signed all the paperwork. I said, oh, really? They were here yesterday? Amy goes, yeah. My wife goes, yeah, they were here yesterday. I go, Dad, why didn't you tell me? I forgot. And I said to my dad, Dad, don't you ever let anyone in this house that you do not know if we're not here. Oh, I know. I'm not letting those people. This is what he said. I'm not letting those people into the house. I said, what do you mean those people? Now, granted, my dad's from a different era, and the couple that came up was a black couple, probably in their, 50s, because they need a witness. So she brought her husband, and she's got like the twisty dreads, long twisty dreads, kind of like back in the day, like Whoopi Goldberg had. And I'm not letting those people in the house. No way. He goes, they look disheveled. I said, well, okay, Dad. Outside of that, do not let those people into the house. Or any people. Sorry, I mean, now it's coming out of me. Apple far from the tree, right? Don't let anyone in the house unless we're home or on the property. Oh, don't worry. So we got to talking, my dad and I, and he goes, I'm getting ready to place an order at Walmart, because I pick up his groceries up there when I do my shopping. Can you make me those jalapeno poppers? I go, Dad, you want jalapeno poppers? Uh-huh. Let me clarify. Do you want jalapenos that are hot and spicy, packed with cream cheese, and wrapped in bacon? I didn't think about bacon. Yeah, we make them, wrap them with bacon. We put them in the air fryer, 5-6 minutes, heat them up, cook the bacon, whatever. Boom, poppers. Uh-huh. Dad, they're hot. Uh-huh. I want them. What about your asshole? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been training my asshole. This could go anywhere. I've been eating hot sauce, the Frank's hot sauce, on my eggs in the morning. Oh, okay. So you're good to go on that? Yeah. All right, Dad, order the cream cheese. When you place your order the cream cheese, order the pack of bacon, get the thin bacon so it doesn't take forever to fucking cook and stuff, and then get your jalapenos. Comes back. I can't find the jalapenos on their menu on Walmart. I said, forget it. I will buy them because I'll physically be in the store picking out stuff for Thanksgiving and stuff. I will physically buy you poppers or buy the jalapenos, the mammoth ones. They're about as big as my G2 pen here. Sponsor, but we'd like you to be, by the way. I'll buy them. So I got them home today. Did you get the poppers? Did you get the jalapenos? Yeah, Dad. I got 15. He goes, when are you going to cook them? I said, I'll cook them. I'll cook 5 for you this weekend. And then I'll cook 10 for Thanksgiving as an appetizer. You know, waiting for dinner to get ready. He has the weirdest, because his face is all fucking distorted and stuff from all the surgery and stuff. His face, if you ever seen Poltergeist, this is the only way I can describe it. You ever seen the old guy on Poltergeist who knocks on the front door and says, "Where's Carol Ann?" No, she's not here. "Where's Carol Ann? Let me in." Hit that smile that's on his face from Poltergeist. That's exactly, put another 20 pounds on that guy. That's exactly what my dad looks like when he smiles at you. So when he smiles at us in the kitchen and goes, "You're going to make poppers?" I go, "Oh, where were you for Halloween?" When we come back, I really do want your help with this because I'm in my mind, it's gonna make or break a lot of ties and relationships about this person that reached out to me. So stick around. I'll be right back. So I've got like 15 directions that I want to go into because I've got a bunch of different things. Now, I didn't do a show last week. If you haven't figured it out, I was at the horse show last week with my wife. We were in Rayford. It's about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes from the house here. She had a horse show, dressage. She rides dressage. So we were there. And like I was telling you, you know, I've been going to the shows because the the other husbands and boyfriends and whatnot, there's more than just the riders there. There's other people that are supporting them. And I'm like, well, you know what? I should support my wife when it comes to this. And for the longest time, my wife was like going, I don't want you there because I got to worry about this big baby and my horse, meaning me and the horse. And she's right. She's right, because what happened was, if you're looking at us here on the This Is 50 YouTube channel, I'm still doing my run now. I call it a run, 4-mile run. I average a speed of like I think a 14.3. You know, trucking along, and you know, I'm not not winning any Olympics by any means, but I'm losing a lot of weight and stuff. So when my wife goes, you know, "Hey, do you want to go to the show with me this weekend?" I said, "Yeah, fine, no problem." Do I need to bring my breakfast? Do I need to bring my meals that I have? Because I'm on not a strict diet, but I want to make sure that I'm eating right and doing right and making sure I'm doing everything, because I've lost a lot of weight. I've probably lost, if you're watching this, like I said, on the YouTube channel, hi, at This Is 50 on YouTube, I've probably lost maybe 25 to 30 pounds because I'm doing well. So I started panicking. Because I'm like, babe, we're staying in this, like an Airbnb for trailers. You know, they drop off an RV, you stay in it, and then you get all your shit out of it, and they come pick up the RV, and they, you know, haul ass. It's kind of cool. I think it's like maybe $95, maybe $100 a day or something like that. And I'm like, going, okay, they have a stove, they have a microwave, they have a, you know, toaster oven, and all this stuff. So I'm sitting there freaking out that I'm not going to have enough meals. I'm going to be forced to eat gluten-free blueberry coffee cake. So I made sure I had all my stuff lined up and bought all this stuff at the store, and, you know, yogurts and cottage cheese and all this stuff. And I didn't eat a goddamn bit of it. I brought it all back home because they had a schedule, and I wasn't like starving or anything like that. So I had the blueberry coffee cake, and I had a yogurt, and for lunch someone made like a meatloaf So I ate like the meat out of it and, so on and so forth. And at night we had planned dinner. So I did okay. I survived. The problem is, here's the biggest problem. So it's my wife and I and the trainer in this camper that we've rented. Everyone else has their own camper and trailer off from where we're at. Because my wife and I don't have one, so we rented this, and part of our job, part of the rider's job, is to pay for the trainer, if he's on location at a show, to pay for his room and board, basically. It's part of the package. I'm not going to argue with it. Fine. So my wife and I are in the master bedroom for this trailer. RV trailer. The trainer is on the opposite end, designed for kids. So there's like 2 full-size bunk beds. So I'll take the top bunk and just sleep on that. Everyone's got a curtain that goes around, so everyone has their own privacy. We're all good to go. The problem was that I had with this trailer is that the bathroom was right next to the bunk beds where the trainer's sleeping. Now, you say, okay, well, what's wrong with that, Travis? If you've been in a trailer with multiple people that are not your family, like guests and friends and stuff, rule number 1 is you don't shit in the bathroom, right? You don't shit in the bathroom. If you do, make sure there's nobody in the trailer or in the RV or whatever, and then you can air everything, waft everything out, and then you're good to go. So as soon as we get in the trailer and I look at everything and look at the layout, I go, oh my God, this, in my mind, I'm like going, this is going to be a problem. Because you know me, I can't keep more than one meal in my body at any given time. And I tell you this because before I left, my wife went ahead of me and I was like a couple hours behind her. And I said, yeah, you go and I'll leave here at 3:00 and I'll meet you there and we all meet up together. I've been eating salads. And when I say salads, I'm not talking just regular salads. I'm talking lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, and jalapenos. Oh, yeah. That alone is like Drano for your body to douche everything out of it. I mean, it just literally just... And plus, I've been drinking my beet juice, my lemon juice, beet juice, and my sour sops or whatever, my sour sop bitters. Everything I drink and eat prior to going on this trip is made to flush out your body. So I show up. Where's our bed? Over there. Where's the bathroom? Right there, next to the trainers. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Now, well, Travis, why don't you just use the public bathroom that's on the facilities, the property, the show grounds? I'm like, there's no porta potties. They have one main bathroom. And I told you this. The men's bathroom does not get used because there's no men at this show. It's all women. So there's always a line, and I don't know how many stalls are in the women's bathroom or anything, but it literally is where we were parked at, a 15-minute butt-clutching walk if I got to go shit in the toilet on the men's restroom. Nice restroom, by the way. Nice. Brick walls. Everything's clean. Everything's wiped down. Everything's always nice. I'm like, oh, fuck. Here we go. My nerves are getting... Now I'm eating cottage cheese and yogurt and blueberry coffee cake that's gluten-free, so that's going to run right through me. And then at night, or for lunch, we had carrots and onions and all the worst stuff that I can possibly have in my body. And at night, we made a spinach ravioli with chicken. I know everyone's drooling right now. And everything is roughage. And I'm sitting there laying in bed, and I'm like going, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before this atomic bomb goes off in my gut. So I'm laying there in bed, My wife couldn't sleep with me. She didn't like not with me, but the bed that we were sleeping on was too hard. So she slept down on they have a couch that kind of, you pull it and the two pieces come down, they lay flat and it's nice and foamy and stuff. And she slept on that out there in the kitchen area. And I slept in the queen bed that had a mattress as big as this fucking tissue paper. But I needed a good hard surface to sleep on. So I'm laying in bed. I'm like going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I know I'm going to have to shit. Plus drinking beers with these guys, you get the bubble guts and you get the, what do they call it? The GI shirt squirts or something like that. I'm laying in bed. I'm like going, I'm fine. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying there. I'm like going, I roll over and I hear this. And I go, this is it. It's do or die. And I don't know if you've seen an RV toilet. There's no pressure behind the water to rinse out the toilet. So if you have a Tijuana blowout in there and you got shrapnel all over the inside of the toilet, you step on that water, it's like turning on like a small faucet. It just kind of rinses down and stuff. The reason why I tell you this is because when remember I said about the part where, you shit in the thing when no one's there? I told my wife, I'm like, oh, it's lunchtime. Let me run up to the thing. You forgot something at the RV? Let me do it. Let me go get it. Let me go get it. So I run to the RV and I'm like going, oh my God, here we go. So I took the opportunity and I didn't wreck it, but there were, you ever seen like skid marks? Oh my God, I've lost the audience now. There's no toilet brush. So I'm like going, they're going to know. They're going to know. How are they going to know? They're going to know. How are they going to know? They're going to know. So I told my wife, I said, oh man, I said, babe, I kind of wrecked the bathroom a little bit. She's like, no, everything's fine. Everything smells good. It's like roses in here. Well, we were cooking dinner and stuff. Then in the middle of the night, I heard my wife get up. And she moseyed and came back and lay back down. I said, oh, she went to the bathroom. In my mind, I'm sitting there going, okay, I could do one of three things. I could shit in this toilet. This is the stuff. I could shit in this toilet and completely embarrass myself because the trainer is right next door to the bathroom. I could run outside. It's completely pitch black outside. Prop my ass up next to the spare tire and just shit in the fucking field that we're parked in. Or I can make a mad dash, run, jump in the truck, drive the truck down there to the one stall public bathroom down there and shit in there. 3 o'clock in the morning, in my mind, guess what else happens? Is it locked or open? Do they lock the doors? I'm like going, and then I'll be stuck. I don't know. So I had nervous sleep for the first night or two. And then I realized that everyone else shit in there. They didn't know the rule about shitting in a camper. So everyone's shit in the camper. So I felt better. My job, I'll get to the guy who called me here because it's going to be long drawn out here. I'm trying to get this out of my brain before, because I still have to continue this relationship with this guy. Or do I continue the relationship? That's the problem. Not a problem. It's just I want to make sure that I do it right, I guess is what I'm saying. So my other jobs that I have outside of shitting in toilets, as those of you who are listening to the show that know me, know that I do several other different podcasts. I do this one for my mental health. I do it every Friday, about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I do a horse show with a profound professional farrier, world-renowned. I do that every Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And then I do a social media viral story entertainment show on Wednesday. The Wednesday show, financially, the way I earn my living is that I get advertisements, just like you see TV sponsors and stuff like that. You watch a show on Netflix or whatever, or Hulu, and they have a commercial that runs in there. That's how they get paid. So I get paid by having advertisements on my other podcasts. 90% of them are independent artists, guys who have created a song. They have a music catalog, and they want to push their stuff on Spotify. That's what they want. They want to get the money on Spotify instead of like doing live shows somewhere, which, all right, fine. You want to pay me to do it? Fine, you want to pay me to do it. November for me is kind of slow because no one's really doing anything. It's the holidays. Thanksgiving is in there, and then Christmas usually picks up. Someone's got some kind of stupid Christmas song or something like that. I want my Christmas song to be number one so I can never work again. I'm like, all right, it's crap anyways. I'll play it. I get a guy that sends me a song. Can you play this on your show? Sure, no problem. Quoted him the price. Well, what about this price over here that I see? And I've got a website that shows all the pricing and stuff. I said, well, that's for our business. You're a musical artist. There's a little bit more involved with it. He goes, well, I want the business one. It's my business. This is my job. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. It's slow. I'll take the money. I'll take your money. Play your song. So I take his money, draft up the contract. I send it to him. I need you to sign this contract before I can continue my job. Well, I don't want to sign it until I hear the song on your show. I go, all right, here we go. So I listen to the song, and I'm thinking, does this guy have any clout? Does this guy have any... Is he going to stiff me for the money, basically, is what I was thinking about. Because it's all done over the internet. There's no phone calls or anything like that. It's strictly internet. I don't give out my phone number. So it's strictly third-party internet stuff. I look, and he's... I'm like, all right, well, this guy's new. Let's bring him on. Hopefully, he's not spending a whole lot of money. Maybe I can just sneak by and just play him and be done with it. He says, well, I can't sign it. I said, well, I'm sorry, then I can't play your song. Well, that's not right. I go, what do you mean that's not right? And this is the emails back and forth to each other. And he goes, well, I want my song played before I pay you. I said, listen, man. I said, you are a musical artist. Would you get up on stage, play your whole entire catalog, however long or short it is, and then go to the venue? All right, I did my set. Can I get paid now? No. You always hear stories about Aretha Franklin. You always hear a story about her. She wants to be paid in cash. She wants, whatever dominations, whatever nominations she wants. She has a very, very strict contract because she comes from that background. I want to get paid first before I put, toe one on stage. This guy, and we'll say he's a black guy, and I have more problems with a certain type of person that doesn't want to pay for their promotion before, it airs or whatever like that. I said, you know what, man? I said, sorry, I can't do that. I got there's stones and stuff I got to put in place before I got to lock in the time slot. There's other stuff I got to push people around. There's more than just your little fucking piece of shit fucking song. You can tell I'm pissed about them. Playing on my podcast, my other podcast, and then me turn around and I can't pay all the other people that have set up this promotion for you. No, you have to pay for it first. That's how it goes. You're a musician. You're a professional. I'm a professional. I'm not going to fuck around with you. You can see all and I've got a catalog of everyone that I've ever done before. I'm like, you can see my catalog. Speaks for itself. If you don't like it, back out. Don't do it. So he says I don't want to do it. And I go, good. Now, I try to be as polite as possible because I don't know, what's going to happen if he's going to say something or, word of mouth type stuff. I try to be as professional as possible. So I wrote back to him. I said, I'm sorry that you did not understand the contract that I sent you. So until you understand that contract, I cannot continue with your promotion. And I sent it back to him. And thank God, because his fucking song sucks. And I'll play it here next break. You tell me. What do we want to talk about when we come back? Where are we at on time? Oh, I got some time. I got time. All right. I had a friend reach out to me. Another friend reach out to me. I kind of called him out, not based on who he is, but what he's doing. And then I'll get into the guy that I'm dealing with here, who came out of nowhere, wants to be my friend again. Not friend, but just make sure that I don't know. That's the problem I'm having. So stick around. I'll dive into those stories when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. So I'm walking around Walmart because I love Walmart. I do. I honestly do. They had a program years ago where if you signed up for the Walmart Plus or something like that, this is way before. This is years ago. This is like 15 years ago. If you signed up for Walmart and scanned your receipt, they guaranteed the lowest prices. And within 7 days, if you bought something and it went on sale somewhere else, they did the research for you and you got a check. Excuse me. They put money into your, whatever your account was. And we'd have, $50, $60 by the end of, 7 days. Not that much. I take that back. Maybe $15. At the end of the week that, someone else had it cheaper somewhere else. And they go, here you go. We found it cheaper somewhere else. They don't do that anymore. But I really, really miss that. But something I've noticed walking around Walmart here recently, like in the last 6 months, the music selection, they must have gotten an update. So someone's in charge of the ones and twos over there at Walmart Central. And the music that they're playing are like deep, deep B cuts. And I'm like going, God, I haven't heard this song in a long time. Maybe they came across a catalog where like going, here, you can have all the number one hits, and that's going to cost you $4.2 billion to have this played in your establishment. You can tell I'm doing my generic radio voice. Or you could have this catalog right here, which are the B-sides. The B-sides. Coming up next, the latest B-side from the B-side artist. And that's, $500,000 for the whole year. And Walmart goes, I'll take those, please. So there's some deep cuts that I haven't heard in years. Like, you don't even hear it on regular radio stations. The deep cuts are that good. So I'm walking around the store. And my store where we live at, it's a very, very mixed culture. We have Mexicans, if they're not being deported by ICE. I know, that's a big thing in itself. Fuck you. Illegal's illegal, all right? There's a black community, strong black community in our area, which is great. And then there's a white, redneck, trashy area. And then there's a little bit of upper class, like me. Superior than everyone else. But I'm walking around, and I'm listening to this song. Pay my bad little bills. Pay my bad little bills. Do bills. Do. Can you pay? You know what song I'm talking about. So I'm walking around like going, oh, man, I haven't heard this song in years. When I used to DJ in nightclubs back in the 90s, late 90s. And I go, I love Aaliyah. This song is great. As I'm walking up and down the aisles, ironically enough, true story, there's a short black woman. She's probably mid-30s. I can't tell. She could be 18, she could be 30. I don't know. She's got braids, long braids in her hair, and she's got a black T-shirt on, and it's got a woman's face on the front, and it says, pay my bills, and then something underneath like pay my telephone bill or pay my car bill. And I'm like going, oh, man, I just heard this song not even 5-10 minutes ago, and I said, what are the chances of this woman right here having the shirt on of the song that was playing here on the air? Now, I'm very friendly at Walmart, says me. And for the most part, I like to connect with my community. And when I say my community, the people in my area. So she passed by me, and a couple other songs came on, and I said, oh, I should say something to her. Because by the time I heard the song and saw the girl with the T-shirt on, it was probably 30 minutes. So I don't know what time she got in the store. So I was going to run up to her. And in my mind, I was like going, I love the shirt. And you just missed it. They played that exact song. Aaliyah was playing Pay My Bills, Pay My Car Bill, Pay My Telephone Bills. You just missed it. And it's so cool that I heard the song, and now here 30 minutes later, I'm seeing your shirt. That would have been cool. In my mind, and I couldn't find her. A couple aisles, and she was gone. So I came back, and the conversation never happened. So I came back home and told my wife the same exact story like I just told you. And my wife goes to me, who knows nothing about music, goes, "That's not Aaliyah." I said, "Yeah, it's Aaliyah, isn't it?" She goes, "No, Mr. DJ Guy." I said, "Who is it?" She goes, "It's Destiny's Child." I said, is it? Oh my God, is it really? Alexa, who sings Pay My Bills? Everyone's Alexa's going off. And sure enough, it was goddamn Destiny's Child. I said, well, can you imagine my face? I'm 6'2", depending on what 7-Eleven I'm walking out of. 200 and now 50 pounds. Thank you very much for noticing. White guy going up to this 30-something, 18, 30, I don't know, girl who's 5'2", with a shirt on and saying, "Hey, they just played Aaliyah's song 30 minutes ago. Pay my bills." She would have said, "What? Oh, really? You fucking cracker?" No, she would have. She would have said something. I don't know what the conversation, but maybe the planets aligned just right where I didn't embarrass myself. Because I go there every Friday. I actually gave one of the ladies in the produce section at Walmart, her manager was standing next to her, and I walked over and I see the produce lady all the time. We'd laugh and kid and stuff. And I said, "Is this your boss?" "Yeah." I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "Every time I come into this Walmart, this woman right here is filling the trays, filling all the bins and stuff. Always has a smile on her face, no matter what the day is. Always helps me." I said, "Between her and I, we now know what dragon fruit looks like." I said, "I just want you to know, I appreciate her, and so make sure the note gets passed on." "Oh, I will." "All right, good." So part of my job for the other shows, this show pays for itself, by the way, just to let you know. With all you people out there, you know who I'm talking about, that listen to the show. We are part of an affiliate program. I'll just tell you right now how the show gets paid. We're part of an affiliate program. So if you hear ads that are that played in the middle, beginning and end of the show, I get a percentage of that. Because we reach so many listeners, I get a percentage of that income or whatever they advertise on the bookend and stuff. So it's called an affiliate program. I have no control of who's the ads at the beginning and the end. If you're listening to us on one platform and there's no ads at all, the other platforms, we get a lot more listeners, yada, yada, yada. You go where the money is, the traffic is. So just to let you know. So one of the shows, the entertainment show that I do every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shameless plug, I had a quote-unquote co-worker of mine reach out to me and said, "Hey, I got this," and this is, I don't know, 10 years ago. "I got this new app I'm trying to launch. I'm trying to, do all this stuff." And we had a Zoom call meeting or whatever, iTeams, whatever the fucking video meeting is. And I said, "Yeah, this is how much it costs to be on the show. And, we can run your promotions and all that stuff." And I gave them the financials as far as what they would get for the money that they were spending. And I don't want to say that the advertisement for the show is cheap. It is not it's cheap compared to buying actual radio airtime. Let's put it that way. I'm a third less on a 30-day period as far as what it costs to be on the show. Didn't hear anything back, reached out to him. I always reach out like 2 or 3 times and then I just drop it. All right, fine. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. This person, here we go, calling people out. When I knew this person, they were a male. Now they identify as a female. Not a big deal. If you want to be that, that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. So sometimes I have a issue when I reach out to or talk to the person, and I don't talk to them every day. I use their name as far as who they are. I'm like, oh, okay, this is, and they're, oh, don't forget, blah, blah, blah. The person that was trying to launch the app has launched or tried to launch 16 or 17 different other platforms having to deal with like mortgage and, zero financing and doing all this stuff. And you can be mortgage free and give me blah, blah, blah. It seems like every other year they've changed their whatever scheme that they have and trying to get, people into people's pockets. You can be debt free. You can be mortgage free. How do you feel if you didn't have a mortgage? That type part. You see it all the time and I'm like going, hey man, woman, man, because, anyways, I reached out to this person and I said, it seems like every time you post something on Facebook, it seems like a scam. Everything that you're never concrete with anything at any given time. You're always switching between, hey, now I'm a realtor. Now I work for Keller Realty. Now I work for, testimonial mortgage, and it seems like the person never nails down a permanent position somewhere. Now I've been doing this show. This is 50 for about coming up on 5 years now. I've been doing the other shows for 12 plus years. So I've got a record that I've been doing this for a long period of time. So the person reached out to me and said, hey, how would you like to, lose your mortgage? I said, how would you like to buy advertisement on my show? Let's start there. Well, I'd love to hear your pitch, for me to lose my mortgage. How about we do a Zoom call? I said, how about we don't? We've already been through this, dog and pony show. Look, you know what my stats are. You know where I'm at. Let's get together. If you want to be serious, put your money where your mouth is. Buy advertisement on my show because you're a scam. And I said it on the post. I said, every time I see something, it always makes me feel like a scam. I would be scared to spend my money with you, whatever department that you're in, at whatever location of business scheme that you got going on. Well, I'd love to reach out to you. Here, I'll send over all my documentation tomorrow morning. All right, fine. No problem. Never came. Never came. Never came. And I'm like going, I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's a fucking scam. Now, if this person, like I said, there's a lot of people in my inner circle that are now listening to my program, and we're reaching a little bit more. If this person falls within my barriers of the program, and you think that I'm doing you wrong, by all means, reach out to me. You know my address. You know my phone number. You know my email address. Reach out to me and prove me wrong, because the person said, I don't want to say he or she because I don't know. I have a hard time dealing with that. This person says, I'd love to talk to you and prove what I'm doing is correct and is right. It's a business plan. I can eliminate your mortgage. I can eliminate this stuff. And in my mind, I go, bullshit. Bullshit. There's no way you can do it without screwing someone over somewhere. I haven't heard from them since. Nothing. Okay. When we come back, I'm going to talk about, this is going to get deep. It's going to get messy. But the person that called me that wants to reach out and connect with me again, that's not trans. I don't know. He could be trans now. But I'll deal with that and talk about that when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. We had snow the other day. Yep. We had snow 2 weeks ago. Like I said, I apologize. I don't want to apologize. I was on a horse daddy trip, so I didn't do a show last week. But right before we left for the horse daddy trip, we had snow. We had a rogue storm that came through the Piedmont areas. God, I fucking hate that. I hate that and corridor. Hate those words. It came over Charlotte and then dumped probably about a half inch of snow, like real quick, overnight. Boom, boom, boom. It was nice and fluffy and stuff, and I had to run out there and get the horses ready and stuff. And I run in the house and I go, Dad! Huh? It's snowing! What? Dad, it's fucking snowing outside. And it's, I don't know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's dark out. So I start putting on the backyard light so he can see it. I don't see anything. And he's standing in the doorway of the back porch. We have, French doors there. He's got one of the doors open. He's just standing there. I don't see anything. Dad, turn the light on over there. You can see the snow in the lights. Huh? Shut the fucking door, Dad. You're standing in the door. You're letting the cold air in. Well, it's like 47 outside. I know. It's a fucking rogue storm. Jesus Christ. If it was me as a child, he would have yelled at me the same way. So fuck all you guys. He would have yelled at me the same way. I talked to Shayne. Oh, you remember him. He's the one who helped me start this show. Yep, Shayne McManus. Talked to him probably a good 45 minutes before the show today. And we broadcast, like I said, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talked to him for about 45 minutes, make sure he's okay and stuff. I haven't talked to him. We're rolling into Thanksgiving next week, so I just want to make sure he was doing all right. His son got married. I was supposed to be the DJ. They completely forgot about it. That's fine with me. I didn't want to DJ that party. But it's the weekend I was doing my daddy stuff. So talk to him. He's doing all right. And I said to him, his daughter, still alive, still in a comatose type vegetative state. She's still somewhat, according to him, he said she'll either laugh at you or tell you to fuck off in her eyes. That's what he says. So I guess she's doing all right. But that's got to be a huge burden. I mean, it is a huge burden. But he's handling it like a champ, him and his wife. And she lives in the house. So she's like, there. Big mechanical bed and all that stuff, like she's in the hospital. But he's doing all right. His wife's doing all right. And as far as I know, the son's doing all right. Just got married. And then his daughter's still around. Still alive. Still breathing. Still doing her thing. And I said to him, because I didn't know how to approach this situation that I'm in right now with this person that reached out to me. And I said, hey, man, Shayne. I said, guess who called me the other day? He goes, who? And I told him. And he goes, oh, yeah. What's he been up to? And I go, well, I'm going to tell you what I told him. So, many years ago, I worked for Home Depot. When we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, I worked for the Kannapolis store, Home Depot. And I came across this guy. Thought he was funny. We hit it off. He's an older guy. I was probably, 48. No. Sorry, that's not right. I was probably 45, 43, somewhere around there. And he was 65 or, early 60s. And we became friends. And I was, we had the whole COVID thing. I was gone from Home Depot since then. We had the whole COVID thing, and he was still working at Home Depot, and he needed extra money. He needed, some kind of income. He had a wife that was not in the best shape and, living at home and stuff. So he was the main provider. So during the whole COVID thing, I would say, hey, you want to come over here and work on this, I'll pay you for this, and so on and so forth. His name is Dan. I'm going to say Dan. You've heard me talk about IT Dan. So now everything's on the table now. Everyone knows who everyone is. All the players are in line here. So Dan would help me out here in the studio. He would help me set things up and get things right and clean the computer up for this. And he was really, really beneficial. He did well, and he charged at the time, friend rates. Hey, I'll come over and clean your system and stuff. He would drive over here and clean this out and do all this stuff and defrag computer stuff. And he'd charge me, $60, $70, whatever it was, for an hour and a half of his work to do all that. And then he'd drive home. And then COVID hit, and then he had no money coming in. So I said, Dan, I need some stuff done. Can you help me do this? I'll pay you. So we were redoing the tack room bathroom, and, tiling the walls and doing all that stuff. And I'm helping him out, and I'm there helping him, so there's two of us, and we're doing it together. And, he charged me whatever per hour and stuff. I'm going, all right, well, Dan, can we just, all right, I'm not going to argue with you and stuff. He got to the point where his wife was yelling at him or getting upset at him because Dan was not charging, quote unquote, me enough. What I think his wife did not understand was I was helping Dan out. And he was helping me out, so there's a friendship there. You know what they say, never let money come in between two friends? Well, that's exactly what happened. What happened was he was saying that, my wife says I should be charging you this. I said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to charge me this? Because if you do, I can't use you. I can't use you. You're, friend prices. I said, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. He goes, well, I want to charge this amount I need to make this kind of money per day, and I can only work for 4 hours. I said, then you're not doing me any good. If you're going to charge me full rate of pay, I had some windows and stuff in the front of the house that need to be replaced, and I would be there helping him. So technically I'm part of the labor. So he didn't get that. So I said, if you're going to charge me full pay, I want a full day's worth of work out of you. Well, I can't do it because I got to go home and take care of my wife and make sure she's fed and all this stuff. I said, then you can't charge me a full rate of pay. I said, and second of all, this is not your full-time job, Dan. I'm helping you to make ends meet. You're helping me in the same sense I'm helping you at the same time. Well, I can't, I can only work, 3-4 hours a day, and then I've got to go home. Then Dan, I can't pay you that. I can't pay you. You're not a professional, I think is what I said. I said, you're not a professional, so you can't charge me professional wages when you can only give me part-time handyman help. So that was it. That was the last conversation we had. He went away. I didn't talk to him. And years rolled on. And I want to say it's been 4 years since I've talked to him. Because I don't think he knows about this show and knows about the horse show. And we've been doing both of these for about 4 years. So he has no idea. So he reaches out to me the other day. I'm in the middle of my 4-mile walk. And listen to, podcasts and stuff. And I look at my phone, it says, Dan. I said, is this really Dan? All right. Hello. And I'm walking, hoofing it, jogging at the same time. Hey, Travis, how are you? Oh, hey, Dan. Hey, just want you to know, I'm doing all right. He's reaching out and he give me, and I'm going, Dan, I hate to cut you off. I said, I'm in the middle of my walk, my run that I do every morning at 8 o'clock or whenever I get. I said, can I call you when I get back to the house? Oh, yeah, no problem. So I get back to the house and I tell my wife, she's like, well, how are you going to handle this? I said, I have no idea how I'm going to handle this. I said, I don't want to be rude. I said, I know what's going to happen, but I don't want to be rude. So my wife and I get together and we're doing our stuff and wrapped up all our stuff. And I said, she's like, you can call Dan. I said, I need a 2-hour break of whatever we're doing. I need a 2-hour break to handle this, to mentally get involved, to talk to this guy. Because I was kind of rude with him, but in the same sense, I thought he was taking advantage of me. His wife was telling him, fuck, basically the way I looked at it, fuck Travis. I know he's your friend, but you are doing all this stuff for him. You should be charging contractor wages. What she doesn't understand is without me, Dan wasn't making any money. They would have been broke or whatever. I don't know what the case is. But I was giving him big projects and I was willing to pay him a friend rate as I was helping him. Like he was my helper and he was the lead helper and blah, blah, blah. I know, splitting hairs and in hindsight, 2020, right? So I call him back and he says, I'm like, how you doing? He goes, well, my wife died a year and a half ago. I said, you know what? I'm sorry to hear that, Dan. I really am. Well, she wasn't in the best health. I go, I know she wasn't in the best health. And he goes, I'm not as active as I used to be. I said, so you coming over here and replacing these windows? That's out of the question. He goes, no, I can't do that anymore. He's like, I get winded. I was doing a project that should have taken, 3 weeks. It took me 3 months. I'm still getting over, her death, my wife's death. But he's in the same sense, in the same breath, he's like going, it's amazing. I can make decisions on my own. If I want to do something, I don't have to ask anyone else for permission. And I think that's where he was at. Now, I know when I started the show, I said, there's a group of people that listen to this show, and I know now he's listening to the show. So if he's listening to this, fine. Hopefully a lot of this stuff will make sense to him and he can understand stuff. But I think for the most part, what he was doing, his day-to-day lifestyle was instrumented through his wife. Meaning, he was doing everything for her benefit instead of his personal own benefit. If that makes sense to you, hopefully it makes sense to someone. But you can see where I'm going with this. So now he's realizing that I don't have to worry about or make decisions based on someone else in the house, which is, I understand that completely. I make decisions on my stuff that I make here. My wife does the same thing. But our relationship, we are two individual persons, people, pipples. Not to make light of the matter, but still, he's realizing now that, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that, and so the dilemma that I'm at or in is I like Dan. I like Dan a lot. When we were talking politics, he's on the total opposite side, and I'm on the other side. I don't know if our friendship or our relationship is ruined based on the years as they, unfolded for the last 4 years. I don't mind talking to Dan. I don't mind, honestly, I wish I had his help, a couple years ago to help me do some stuff here in the studio. But unfortunately, a lot of that has been replaced with ChatGPT. AI has helped me a lot to fix things and do things here, which I normally would have reached out and asked Dan for his help. Do I need Dan's help? Sure. I could use his help doing some things, some physical things here in the studio. But I don't want him to think that I'm using him based on his availability or whatever, his, I don't know what word I'm looking for there. But as far as us being friends, being people that talk to each other and say, hey, how's this going? How's this going? Prime example, I think he said to me in an email that I forget, in a conversation. This is how I'm not really in tune with Dan. Dan is not part of my daily thought process. Says to me, I'm getting my gallbladder taken out. And I said, well, that's a simple process. It's in and out. I said, do you have a ride there? And he's like, no, it's in and out. I can drive home after that. I said, okay, fine. Good. Be careful. It's going to change your diet, all that stuff. Amy's had hers out. Good luck. I wish you luck. 3 or 4 days go by and I get an email saying, hey, my gallbladder surgery was a success. And I kind of go, was I supposed to call him and say, hey, how did your gallbladder thing go? I don't think we're there yet. I didn't think about it. It'd be no different than, me telling him that I went to a horse show with Amy saying, hey, Dan, Amy came in, 5th place out of 14 people. She came in 5th place or whatever. I forget what she is, but he'd be like going, oh, really? I was supposed to check on? It's the same thing. So I'm at this stalemate as far as, do I need to fold Dan back into my life? He's a great guy. He's a funny guy. He's a great guy. He's doing all these AI things and using, Sonos, making songs and stuff. He's got an outlet for him for his grief and stuff. I don't know if he's looking for a friend. Of course, we're all looking for friends. Aren't we all? But I don't know how far do I need to go to reach out to him. Do I miss him? If I did, I would have reached out to him earlier. Like I said, I thought that book was closed. I don't mind opening it up again. I don't mind starting a new chapter, creating a whole nother book. And, another chapter with Dan outside of, his wife passing away. Because I think, in my opinion, this is a rough take, but I think, in my opinion, his wife is the one that split us apart. I'm just saying. I don't know if he knows this or not. Because she was always on him about, getting what you're valued at. And I don't think she saw the value of our friendship. Unfortunately, it kind of hurts. But, all right, guys. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to me work all this stuff out. I'll talk to you later, okay? See you, bye. Bye. There we go, camera. See ya.